Good evening for part two of Conversations with Shadow. He will be joining us momentarily. Uh, so, for a second, I'm here by myself. I want to say thank you for joining me so late tonight. Normally, I don't run this late, but it is what it is. So, I want to say I hope everybody had a good 4th of July and a good week so far. And staying out of trouble as much as you can. I mean, I know that's a hard process, but sometimes it's worth the juice. All right, making sure he knows he has the length. No more echo. That's good to know. Well, let's see what it's like when he shows up, and hopefully there is just no more echo. So, it could be. I'm not a tech guy, but I could see that being an issue. My own shadow. So, where are you at in the Grave Peril book there, Mark? Oh, it happens. I'm pretty good at spitballing ideas. I cook for a living, so if something's not going exactly the way I want to, I will just figure it out. Well, that's good. Like I said, let's see what it's like when Shadow shows up. Hopefully, there won't be an issue, and I'll run as long as he wants to talk. And you know, so what kind of cigars would you smoke there, Hell? So, Mark, you finished. Wow, Grave Peril. Wow. So the next you're gonna be. So I just actually just got done listening to the new Dresden book. Granted, it was only 3 hours long, so it was a short, well, listen to. Unfortunately, that's always a safe bet there, not to piss off said woman. I don't have one of those anymore for reasons. Well, for reasons. Oh, well, I've never been to Vietnam. Always been interested about it. I heard the food there's amazing. Come on, Shadow, where are you? Oh wow. Oh, 75 cents? Holy crap. I'm jealous. If I want a baguette sandwich, I'm looking from anywhere to $5 to $6. fried egg, pate, veggie, cold cut, fresh bread. Wow, that sounds amazing. Is he still on there painting a fig? To yell at him. I don't know how. Ah, I was wondering if you left me out in the dark there, Shadow. Mm. Yeah, I gotta be careful with most Asian food. The peppers they put in it could just will kill me quite literally. Yeah, yeah. No, I get that. I don't know if I mean, if I had the choice between here and somewhere else, I probably choose Ireland, maybe Tuscany. But for the most part, I'm happy where I'm at. So, Mark, after Grieve Peril, the next book in line is Summer Night, which is also a good read. And me and Shadow will continue, reviewing the books up until the series is over. I think is the game plan, and we'll review other stuff. I don't know if it was said, but maybe the comes a time where the chat wants us to review something. Me and Shadow will talk about, and that's always a good chance of happening. Wow. Wonder if Shauner's going to show up over here to yell at us for not echoing. So, what are the people like in Vietnam? I mean, I've heard different things. Uh, it's in your email. There are short stories for Dresden Files. Side Job, Suitcase is one of them. The Side Job is one of them. Suitcase is another one of them. Uh, I think The Law, which is like I said, was only about 3 hours. I could probably consider it a short novel. Mm. Yeah, the few videos I saw about Vietnam, I had who was in it? Anthony Bourdain was in it, and other famous chefs just traveling around the world. Wow. Damn. Yeah, I've heard that. Definitely about the families, very close knit families, which is really cool if you can get that.
Howdy, folks. Now, am I echoing?
No, you're
No,
good.
you're good.
Cool.
Now I am.
Now I am.
Plug it in the headphones, see if that helps. Just give me a second.
That's
How
got to
about
be
now?
cool. So far so good.
What was that?
Yeah, no echoing.
Okay, cool. So, how's everybody
I'm
doing tonight?
talking to Max. I'm not Max. Talking to Mark about Dresden and talking about to Hell about his time, him being in Vietnam.
Yeah, I caught part of that. I didn't know that's where he was from, or that's where he's located. I have, excuse me, guys. I have a few Vietnamese friends, and they seem to be stand-up guys.
The few things that I can eat that I found that I can eat that Vietnamese is absolutely amazing. Like I said, I just have an allergy to pepper, and you know, pepper is a major component in most Vietnamese cooking. I find in most Asian cooking, and I just gotta be really careful what I eat. But there's this coconut mushroom lemon grass something I get every so often, and it's just absolutely amazing. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, chilies are just the death of me.
You have to watch out for spicy food too. But I did a lot of damage to my stomach from drinking and too much coffee. I used to drink a lot of coffee. Oh my god.
Coffee always made me go to sleep, and I was probably about 17 years old, and my aunt and me went over to Florence, Italy, and she's like, "You gotta try Italian coffee. It's nothing like it in the whole wide world." Next thing I know is like, "Hey, can we go back to the hotel so I can take a quick nap because I'm dying here."
That's weird.
ADD. My brain is just wired differently.
So what are you painting now these days?
Me, nothing. Not until I can actually have some money put together to actually paint something. Uh, just tapped. Saving up money so my daughter can go to this private school, and I don't want to talk about how many zeros they're wanting just for her to get in.
Understandable. I'm lucky. We've got, even though it's California, we've got a couple of so far decent schools. The school he went to previously was a really good school, and he's starting a new school. So we'll see how that goes this year. But so far so good.
Well, when I was being raised by my grandparents, I went to a private Catholic school for the first 5 to 15. So several years of my life. It wasn't until I moved back with my parents I went to start doing public school, and it's just a world of difference. What about you? What are you painting?
I just finished. Well, I'm not done with this one, but
Oh,
the
God,
little
that's
guy
so
got me
pretty.
this. Minotaur Demon Lord for Father's Day, and I'm just about done. Even though I've got like thousands of other miniatures I should paint, I just saw this and I'm like, yeah, I want to paint that.
I was kind of drooling
Still
over
got a
your
little thing right there to paint, but
yeah.
just about done with that. And then we're working on these dragons for the show. This one's a Xeno
Yeah.
dragon.
I was actually about ready to bring that thing up. That thing is amazing looking. I saw that. You said it's a piecemeal, so once you get it, you have to like sand it and put it together, glue it
Yeah,
together.
it's basically a model kit. My son's working on this one. He's gonna make it like a bumblebee sort of yellow and black pattern, which was kind of weird thinking about, but that's the way he wants to go. No problem. And we got four of them a couple of years ago, and we kept a couple in the boxes until he got better at painting. The first time he painted one, it was actually decent. It wasn't bad at all, but he just, I want to do another one. Okay, no problem. They're now like $35 a piece, but when we got them, they were like 20.
I wish I
And
would
that
have
was
knew about them. I would have bought two.
you can still get them on Archon's website, but like I said, they're like $35 plus shipping from Poland. That's
Oh
why
God.
if you do manage to scrape up, $100 or so, you really got to check out the Dungeons and Lasers Kickstarter, the new one, because it's about to go into um, the next phase where late backers can back it, and I'm backing it in two separate accounts, so I can get the Tarask model that comes with it, and there's so many cool miniatures in this new Kickstarter that you don't have to back the terrain because it's kind of iffy. I'm not real thrilled with it. One set of the three sets of terrain is really nice, but the forests and the swamps, thanks, thanks, Al. I just wasn't, I don't need plastic trees and I don't need plastic, catwalks for the swamp. I can make those out of popsicle sticks and I can make trees. But the other set is like Greek Roman ruins that are awesome, and
Yeah.
I don't think I could do that. But the monsters in the encounters set, you get like 30 or 40 different monsters for $50. And if you do the $100 back, you get two sets. So I get two sets of monsters, and then you get a Tarask and the stretch goals, which is like 40 pieces of terrain, little scatter pieces, and just their Kickstarters are the best Kickstarters for miniatures and terrain I've ever seen, and they're so freaking affordable.
It's actually what I'm kind of looking for is in is chairs, tables, barrels, beds, furniture.
I'm telling you, the last Kickstarter, the Woodhaven Kickstarter, the town, that's what it was. It was basically village folk and furniture and things like that. And a lot of the individual sets are pretty affordable, and that's what I'm expecting in the mail.
Right.
Any day now is the townsfolk, the some of the other terrain sets we bought. They have this thing called rapid delivery, and if certain items are rapid delivery, you can get them ahead of schedule. So I did. So I got most of my Kickstarter already, but I backed the new one. I backed everything they've ever made for Dungeons and Lasers, and I backed all their Rampart stuff, which is more wargamey terrain. And I backed, I think, something else they did, but they're my absolute favorite miniature company out there.
What my
Even
go for it.
even maybe more than Reaper, except I like metal miniatures, and Reaper still does that. So when I have the chance, I go to Reaper to buy miniatures. But even then, I buy them on eBay because I can get them for like $4 for a metal miniature.
Right.
And I know these places. If you spend $40, shipping is free. So I get like 10, maybe 13 miniatures for $40, and you know
Well, me and
I
my
like metal
daughter.
miniatures.
I told you my daughter paints some. My daughter's been painting some of my figs. Well, repainting some of my figs that she doesn't like the way that they look, and I'm like, whatever. You do a better job at it than I do, especially when it comes to the people. So I don't argue too much.
Yeah.
Her hands are steady, than mine. Um, but no, her birthday is the 20th of this month, and she wants to. I'm trying to get some of those furniture ones so she can do like little not diagrams. Get a shoebox, you paint it wherever you want it to, and you put furniture and people in there.
Diorama.
But she wants to do that with miniatures, and I'm like, yeah, I don't have a real problem with that, you know. So
That's why you like Dungeons and Lasers, because they have literally, you could build the dungeons, the floors and the walls, or you can build cottages or castles or towers and all these other little buildings, and then you take them apart like Legos.
gotcha.
So you can rebuild
Well,
it a different way.
she was painting something that is supposed to have sand on it, make it look like sand. So what
Okay.
she did was she went out to the sandbox and she grabbed like a small little baggie full of sand and she was then painting it, mixing it with her yellow and white paint, and she was brushing it in so it had the grittiness look of sand.
Okay. That's the way
And
to
I'm
do
like,
it.
I would have never thought of that.
An easier way to do it is to take some white glue,
Yeah.
put white glue on the base, pour take like a cup or a bowl and put the sand in the bowl, right? Then you
Hmm.
put white glue on the base, and then you stick the miniature and base in the sand and let the sand glue to the base. Pull
Right.
it out, let it dry, tap it off, and then
Just,
wash it or dry brush it with paints. And I use the technique you were telling me about when
yeah.
I want to do like stucco walls, and it works. I did it for my space my starport terminal and other stuff. But when I want sand on the base, that's what people do is they just literally glue sand to the base. It ends up looking more like gravel because of the actual size comparison of the grains to the miniature. But
Yeah.
you can also take baking soda and glue that the same way, and it looks a little bit more like sand.
Gotcha. I don't know.
But I mean,
She's
that's what we do. We do all the other things for this hobby with our channel, as opposed to some of the stuff that you and I do together, with the other channels and stuff. Uh, you kind of I used to do that in the old days when I was working with Dwarven Forge scenery. As a matter of fact, some of my work is on the Dwarven Forge site still. It's under Galacta Revival. It was a sci-fi set of terrain, and I was painting up old Galacta 25 lead miniatures. Yeah. We did exactly that, and that's a little bit more work for a lot of work and not a lot of you know results in the long run. When you're done, you've built up all this stuff, taken some pictures, and then you're stuck with something that you can either not take apart or it's stuck as a big diorama, or with Dungeons and Lasers, I can do things like that. We did in one of our videos. We built this big dungeon with the Dungeons and Lasers stuff, and then we took the camera and sort of moved through the hallways telling the story. It's Lair of the Green Dragon in our videos way back. It's one of our most watched videos. It's like 700 views, and that was over a year ago. Um, for whatever reason, it was really popular, and we'd light up our dungeons and sci-fi terrain with really cheap sets of lights from Michaels and the dollar store. They've got these little strings of lights for $1, and then we just pop them in holes and it lights it up. And we're actually going to do that again when we get our next shipment from Dungeons and Lasers. We're going to do some more of that. But we haven't done that in quite a while.
I think I know what she wants me to do. She's got this like decent size shoebox. I mean, like boot size, not like the foot by 2 foot. Not that's not even right. You know the normal shoebox. You go get like a pair of Nikes or whatever shoes, but it's like twice that size. And I think she's wanting me to build a bar or a tavern or one of those old fashioned, inns back in the day. Because me and her have been talking about it. And I said, baby, whatever you want me to paint, it's going to be, how do I put it? Paint by number.
Right.
And she's like, well, I don't mind, Dad. I'm like, okay, as long as you know that your dad can't like freehand it. Well, I can freehand, but I can't free color. I don't know how to describe. I can't just choose the right color without her, unless we have a notebook with, like I said, paint by number. Hey, I know it sounds cheesy, but it's the only way I get to paint.
Well, miniature painting is like painting by numbers, but just in 3D.
Yeah.
The only thing different is the washing with washes, dry brushing, and the highlighting and things like that. In the old days, people just did the base coats, and they thought they were, oh my God, look at this, They thought they were, the bee's knees or whatever, the kids are saying these days. But, later on down the road, people learned about washes and inks and staining and dry brushing and all these other techniques that have literally been around since, way before miniature gaming that we know of.
Oh, yeah.
But they were doing it, and, once that came in, then you started getting, a lot better paint jobs in the catalogs and the magazines and things like that. If you go back to, early Games Workshop, you could see that some of the stuff was not that spectacular, compared to today. And now you got people, spending a month on one character miniature, and then you look at it and you're just like, oh my God, that's phenomenal.
What was it? You said with the old metal ones. I'm thinking of what season 4, part A of Stranger Things, where the sister, not the younger sister of the basketball player, is got her magnifying glass up and she's painting her metal fig, and I'm like, it's a TV show. Yeah, there's a lot of things they did wrong. They didn't do that much. In my opinion, I don't think they did that much wrong with it. But just to have that scene be in there is kind of cool.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite parts, especially since it was her. She's going to go on, after, I don't know what happens in the next 2 episodes. If she doesn't die, she's going to go on to be, in their universe, one of the greatest, game writers, or content creators. Yeah, I have an airbrush, and we were supposed to break it out and start using it this year, but life got in the way, and I bought it over a year ago. It's still brand new in the box, and I used to use my airbrush, but it's see, here's the thing with airbrushing. You spend more time cleaning your airbrush than you do painting with it. And for me, I just don't have the time. I've got my whole studio set up here with all my paints on either side of me, room for me and the boy. All of our tools are here. Everything is right here, air conditioned. In my garage, it's either 4,000 degrees in the summer and spring, or it's 40 degrees or lower in the fall and winter, and both times it's just not very comfortable. During the spring, which is about a day and a half, out here we get about a day and a half of spring, and then it goes right into summer. So if I can rush out there during that day and a half and airbrush, I'm good. And sometimes, like the last week, it's not been that bad. I could go in there and airbrush, but it's just easier to rattle can, primer, and then bring everything back upstairs. As Uncle Adam says, I'm just trying to get my stuff table ready. I'm not looking to win any awards. If you guys think this is really, really good, it's crap compared to so many other people out there.
I made a comment that long ago that you're going to have to show me your pieces and something that you're willing to sell. I'm going to have to send you some money for it because I want a piece from you. I'd like to get down the road. I'd like to get a piece from Jack because you two are really my favorite two people at the current moment. And,
Right back at you, man. Yeah, I'm the same way. I've got things from people, and one of the things I really like is autographs and photos of people. I'm trying to work on a collage of all my friends that I've made, in this internet journey of life or whatever. And I'm trying to get people to do that. But I feel the same way. I'm actually working on something for someone else out there who will remain nameless until he gets what I'm making for him, because he asked specifically, will you do this for me? And I'm like, yeah, I know exactly how you feel. Having something, some of the things you see behind us, you can't see at this angle, but some of the things have been sent by other people out there to us, and we like to show it off, and it makes whatever you own all that much more personal. If I could go out there and go to a convention and do nothing but get autographs and photos taken with the people that wrote the great books that have made my life the way it is, considering it could have gone another way, and we wouldn't be having this conversation, as I'd be dead in some other country, and forgotten.
Can't say much. I mean, I completely understand. I'm surprised I made out my child. I don't say this jokingly. I'm surprised I made out my childhood alive.
Childhood, I made it out. That wasn't the issue. It was the later part of high school through my 30s when I was doing things, and that's when I could have gone a completely different way. But
don't
after
take this
certain things
wrong.
happen,
was it an anger thing or was it a dumb thing?
Oh, it was neither. It was a professional thing.
Okay. Oh,
yeah,
right.
No. I didn't really have anger issues except with my brother, and that was because the way he treated my family, and that's why he's where he is, and they're where they are. And stupidity, I was always really careful with my stupidity, if that makes any sense. I did some dumb things, but I planned ahead before I did my dumb things. So I like mitigated a lot of the.
Fair enough. I wish I thought ahead.
I was, and I'm to this day I'm very careful. I don't do anything illegal. I don't take any chances. I got the little guy to see through the next 4 years, and obviously afterwards, but by then he'll be off on his own doing his thing, and there's only so much I can do when I'm here and he's in another state doing his thing, but until then, I gotta be mind my P's and Q's, all my I's dotted, my T's crossed, make sure everything is above board with everything that I do until he gets there. Then I can go to Vegas and blow all my money. No, I'm kidding. I don't gamble. To give you an example, I don't gamble. I've been to Vegas once. I spent a week there. I did not gamble once, and I was in a casino the whole time.
Speaking of gambling, it's kind of funny because Monday I ran my game. This was the non-paid DMing. This was me DMing for some friends of mine that live out of state. And they're in a part of the module where they are dealing with a casino of sorts. And I found that none of my players actually know much about gambling as people, which surprised me. I mean, my best friend, godfather to my daughter, he said other than cards, he absolutely knows nothing about gambling. I'm like, what kind of cards? Texas Hold'em, 21, or commonly known blackjack. He's like, I know you're saying words, but I don't know what those card games are. I'm like, what the hell did you play? He's like, pinochle, rummy. I'm like, that's not gambling. That's what you do with your grandparents on a long weekend. And they're like, I
haven't heard some of those words in scores of years.
Rummy and pinochle? Yeah, pinochle? I know. I don't even know what.
My old man used to play that before I was born.
He's like, well, I know how to play spades. I'm like, once again, these are not. I mean, yes, you can gamble on these games, but these are not gambling games. Yeah, that is true, Mark. Well, I didn't get into D&D until after college. This was never part of my visual landscape. Tell you the truth, I wasn't planning on living past 25. I thought I'd be done, because that whole conscious thinking dump thing, yeah, that was not part of my MO. Hey, I think I can make that jump. Yeah, I can make that jump. Or, no, her boyfriend won't find out. Stupid things. Or husband, as the case may be. Or whatever. Yeah, no, and I was angry and I was being dumb. But I played Texas Hold'em because I learned very quickly I'm good with people. I can read people fairly quickly. And Texas Hold'em, it's not about the cards you get played. It's about how well you can read the person next to you or the person on the other side of the table. So I just did some stupid cold read. What's psychology, and I was able to make some money. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So D&D didn't happen until after I got out, and that's how I met Jade. And now my money goes all to, well, either my daughter, my refrigerator, or, well,
your refrigerator to fill it.
Yes.
I thought you were making payments on a refrigerator or something.
No,
what kind of refrigerator is that? You bought a Nancy Pelosi fridge?
No.
What the hell, man?
No. Hey, looks like Shauner put up a new video. What were you talking about today?
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever it is, I'll watch it unless it's what the hell? The video game he plays. I it just makes me want to play a video game. And the only video game I want to play is Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, and I can't.
Oh no. DM James is making it hard for me not wanting to download Conan Exile.
Yeah, I'm not big on those. You start buck naked in the wilderness and have to survive. I've done enough of that in real life to want to play that for fun, or start buck naked outside some girl's window and try to make it home safe. If that rings any bells.
It's when you wake up naked in the cornfield you start questioning your life decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I got scars from getting shot in the ass with buck salt or salt rock as a kid. But we don't need to go into that.
Yeah, it's just your ass. Nobody should be looking at that anyways.
Oh my God. What do you mean your dad just got home? I don't know. I think, yeah, it even goes back to Halloween. The way that Halloween is so sterile than what it used to be. The very beginning, the first episode of Stranger Things, when you had a group of kids riding home from doing a group activity. That was my childhood.
Same here.
Nowadays,
we take our bikes. Sometimes we would walk, like I was saying earlier. We'd walk as far away from home as we could get, trick-or-treating all the way, and then we would change costumes and do it all the way back home.
That's fair.
And we had, like I said, we'd come home. My little brother and I, when we did it together until he went off doing his stuff. And my friends, we'd each come home with 2 pillowcases full of candy. Pillowcases. Wow. I mean, pillowcases, not those little Vons and Walmart little grocery bags. No, pillowcases. And you know why you use pillowcases? Because they wouldn't rip. And if the big kids tried to take them away from you, you could swing it at them, hit them, and do some damage. But yeah, we would be out till 10, 11 o'clock at night as kids. I mean, I don't mean, like 14, 16. I mean like 10 years old. we would be gone, and our parents would be just like, "Oh, they'll be home when they're home."
Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and throw the link into the chat since it's just me and you BSing back. I mean,
Sure,
just
anybody
talking back
wants
and
to hang
forth.
out with us, the more the merry. I don't know who's out there. I can't see the chat when I do this, but
Well, I'm kind of setting a hook and see if I can see I get Shauner on the line.
you
Um,
never know. I mean,
Mark,
I
Hell,
had Sean on any of mine yet. I know I've been
you're
on
all
tons of
welcome.
his.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I just
but
do a little bit
I've got a
something
lot of
different.
people. I got a lot of people out there that actually want to be in some of the games I'm running, and I'm like, I'm kind of getting a little bit nervous now. Fritz wants to be in a game. Cal and I think James and Darren and not DM James, but another James,
Right.
Travis, and my friend that you haven't met that you should because he lives in Ireland. He's from Poland, and he does this game called Gaslands. You ever heard of it?
Isn't the Mad Max version of D&D?
It's not D&D. It's more like a you take Hot Wheels and you build a track, and then you build your car with guns and bombs and missile launchers, and then you try to kill each other on the board. It's like a miniature war game, but
There
you
was
just
a
take a Hot
video.
Wheel.
There was
No,
a
it's
video game I used to play called Twisted Metal.
yeah,
That
it's
was
like that.
okay.
It's like that, except it's after the apocalypse. Not
Makes sense.
necessarily. It's kind of the apocalypse, but people still go back and forth to Mars, and Mars is where all the rich people live, and Earth is all Mad Max, radiated and desert, and everything's all jacked up. But you take a little Hot Wheel car, you glue some machine guns to it, then you make a character sheet for the car, and then there's rules, and you roll dice. But my friend Armstrong over in Ireland, he that's all he does is makes converts cars into Road Warrior machines, and he wants to be in one of my games. But he's like a 5e player, but he's a really cool guy. You have to check him out. It's called Mad Eye Miniatures, and he wants to be in one of my games, and I'm like, well, crap, man, I've got to run like 3 different games. I'm already doing a video every day, just about, and I'm in. If I stay in Bloodworth's game, which I probably will, unless we have technical difficulties, that's a game a week. Bruce is a game twice a month. The only time I'm going to be able to run these games is going to be like 9 o'clock in the morning. You know, I mean, I'm gonna have to get up, for my usual nap after I take the kid to school and start rolling dice instead. And I'm like, man, I have to figure this out and really, figure out when I can do that. I don't want to do like one game a month. I hate that. Bruce's game is already hard enough twice a month. Like, man,
Well,
I
at
could do
one
this
point
every
it
week.
was one game a month, and
Oh,
it
that's so hard, dude. That's so hard. I mean, we're older now and we can, either remember or forget and then get reminded. But it's just, it's hard to get, you know, your fix. You know what I mean? You just like, oh man, I got to wait a month. What am I going to do for the next 3 weeks with, scratching that itch, so to speak?
I had a fairly decent dating life going on before COVID hit. Then my dating life kind of dried out uh, because of COVID. It is just now starting to get back to interesting,
Yeah.
but
I mean, I still see knuckleheads wearing the diaper on their face, in the middle of 80, 90-degree weather, outside. Like, that's the last place you're going to need the mask. Okay, you want to go to
if it's
Walmart and wear the mask.
yeah,
That was probably a good idea 10 years ago. Okay, to wear a mask in Walmart, but you're outside at the park jogging. You know, in the swimming pool. If you're really worried about it, you probably shouldn't be in the pool or at the beach. But if you're
there's
outdoors,
certain places, even taking COVID off the table, there are certain places I understand why people would wear a mask. It's like if you're on an airplane, sure, why not? I don't know how you're gonna make that work for X amount of hours, If you want to wear a face mask because you don't want to breathe in other people's fumes, I get that. Walmart, it might have been 10 years ago for you, but the Walmart around here, it's like different. It's I hate to put it this way, but there's a. This is going to sound really bad, but evolution. There just seems to be an evolutional step behind. Evolution, instead of going forwards, went backwards.
Like what I meant by 10 years ago, if people started wearing them 10 years ago at Walmart, that would have, actually probably been a good thing health wise. But now it's like, if you haven't got it by now and you haven't been jabbed, then you're immune. If you have got the vax and you've either had it or not had it, you should be pretty much immune to dying from it. And if you're not, then you probably got underlying health issues. That's just my non-doctorial opinion. But you can't live in fear forever. And at some point, you got to either take a chance or become shut in. And I guarantee you, the number of people who were shut-ins probably grew exponentially over the last couple of years. And that's not the way we need to go as people.
Absolutely.
We need to get stronger and better health. For all of us, we all need to toughen up, because we are the weakest generation possibly ever. The people that are alive now, with the exception of the people that are really good health, and even some of them are, inside weaker than we've ever been. And the other people are weaker on the outside than we've ever been. I don't care how much you can lift. If you're getting offended at words, you're letting yourself be offended by words.
It's not words that offend me. It's stupidity that offends me. And that comes from both sides. This is not, there's idiots. I don't care what side of the fence politically you stand on. I that's just where I am. But I've noticed over watching the news or going to a few of these things I have locally, there's idiots on both sides of the line. Unfortunately, it's. I mean, this two-party system's got to go. We need to inject some new blood into this program, or we're all in trouble.
Yeah, unfortunately, the two parties won't allow a third, and turning the two into one is a nightmare for all of us. Because then it's the poor versus the rich, in which case we end up with a French Revolution, and then we have to come up with a
French Revolution, a Russian revolution, a German revolution. These are not new concepts by any stretch of the imagination.
Yep.
It's about land and money, and unfortunately, God has stopped making land, and money is only going into one direction, and it's not going into mine.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting question. Well, the problem with somebody middle of the road is this. He will be ignored by
run
both
over
sides.
by whatever comes down that road.
Yeah. Was it Mr. Miyagi? Stand on left. Left side, get squished. Stand on right side, get squished. Stand in the middle, still squish. I'm not 100% sure that's how it went, but yeah. Yeah, Texas is its very own. Yes, Texas is part of America, but Texas is very much its own country. I mean,
yeah, Texas. If things start going the way I think they're going to go, I'm going to have to get the heck out of here for Texas, because I don't want to be on the other side, if that happens. Because so many other places are going to go with Texas if Texas goes. I don't think it's going to happen, but it could, depending on what happens in November. But
I see the domino effect that you're talking about, and it just, I've said this is privately behind, after we've gone off live, and I'll say it now. If I lose a bunch of people, then so be it. But for every country, it's just a matter of time before shit goes sideways.
It doesn't have to be that from this point on, though. We've gotten to a point where we can do so much better, and we were a couple of years ago at a point where we were actually starting to help everybody.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not a Biden fan by any stretch of imagination. I think Grandpa needs to go home and spend time with his grandchildren. But that being said, I'm not a big fan of our last president, though, either. I haven't been a fan of the current presidencies for the last 4 presidents.
See, that's why I never voted until the guy you're not a big fan of became president, because I have yet to be able to tolerate any of them in my lifetime. And he came along and I voted, and I just see it just going back. For 4 years of my life, things were great when it came to that, and now they're the worst they've ever been. But
we live in such a, as has been pointed out by a friend who's way smarter than I am, we live in the most bipolar country in the world. Every 4 years we have a new headache. It might not be a headache for you, but it might be a headache for me, or it might, vice versa.
Oh, man. So who's in the chat?
We still got Hell, Saint, Mark. That's those two. I will talk politics. You guys probably don't want to hear it because I'm I am a constitutionalist. I will argue both sides and tell you all parts of this government are full with idiots. I think the Supreme Court should not be a lifetime position. I think it should be changed via terms. I think being voted into this into Congress or Senate or the House should be the same amount of years as president. You get 4 years or 2 sets of 4, and after you've done your 8 years, you're just done. You don't get to be a child there in the 40s and still be a senator.
Yeah. To be honest, I've always had a particular opinion. All our elections should be the exact opposite of the elections. The person who tries the hardest to not be elected is the guy you want in office.
Screw you, because I'd end up in office, and I don't want that. Nobody wants that.
If you can find a way to hide and try the hardest to not be it, that's the guy we want. Because once you're in, you will do everything you can to get out alive well.
It's all right, Helsing. The only time I will not talk about politics is either on table breakers, gatekeepers. I'll try not to talk about it on Max's, and I will not talk about it on Sunday because our chat for Sunday is meant. Premises of our Sunday chat is to review and talk about gaming and the geek.
And Fritz, we won't do it on Fritz's channel either.
Yeah, but this was just a random, hey, what are you doing? Let's go start a chat scenario. So if you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. I don't really mind. As long as, both of us know that, it's just a conversation, doesn't mean anything personal.
Did you catch my son's 2-hour spiel in the 4-hour video we made a while ago?
No, last one of yours is not that I don't watch yours. I do watch them, but I watch them in bits and pieces.
Yeah.
I definitely watched him opening up. Max is a smart person. I completely understand that, but him opening up the Robotech, his face on that one was damn near priceless. Yeah,
Battletech.
I watched most of that one.
That one was kind of a little bit of a long one too. But when we're painting, that's the way it's got to be. You don't want to watch somebody paint for 15 minutes. You don't learn anything. You know.
Yeah, Bob
Sometimes
Ross it.
though, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a little bit different. And what he's doing, you know, he's been doing it. I'm not going to say longer, but it's 2 dimensional, and everybody can see what he's doing, and he can do it fast. What we're doing, you can't do fast because then you make mistakes, and if you make a mistake, then you've got to do one of two things. Do you know about a mistake brush?
No.
Okay,
Well,
okay, I'm gonna teach you something here.
all my
Okay.
brushes are mistake brushes.
No. When you paint, you got 2 cups of water.
Right.
One to clean your brush,
Right.
one for your mistake brush.
Gotcha.
Okay, you make a mistake. Say you get white paint, or let's go with any color paint, and it goes somewhere you don't want it.
Right.
You take a clean, tiny brush, you get water on it from your clean water, and you add it to the mistake until you've added enough water to make it so runny that you can then absorb it with a dry brush.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Mistake
Okay.
brush. And
Okay.
you will stop. All your mistakes will become not like, oh my God, I got to repaint it. It's, oh my God, I got to rehydrate it until sometimes you don't even have to absorb that paint. Like, say you were using white, okay? And
Yes.
you got white somewhere you don't want it. And you add enough water to it to where it turns into milk or lighter, it'll just run all over the miniature. But the thing where you didn't want to paint will disappear. That mistake will disappear because it ran away, as opposed to you got to, repaint over that mistake.
Makes sense.
Try
Which
it.
which video of his had the rant? It was one
It
of
was
your
our four. It was our 4 hour shadow chat,
shadow chat. All right.
and at about the 2 hour mark, we're talking, and we talked about miniatures for a good while, for like 2 hours, and then someone came in, I forget who, and they just typed in politics, and Jackie just went, okay, it's on like Donkey Kong, and just went
Was it
on
Baron?
No, Baron left.
See, speaking of Baron, for X amount of money, you can buy a foot by foot square of dirt over an island,
Right.
and
I thought it
if
was
you do
Scotland.
that, you become a lord.
I thought that was Scotland.
No, Ireland too.
Oh, okay.
And good night there, Max. I've been thinking about
I didn't know
doing
Max was
it.
here. Sorry, Max.
I mean, not Mark. Mark, I'm sorry. I'm getting
Oh,
tired.
well, okay, later, Mark. I didn't know you were leaving. I can't see the chat when I do this. But yes, have a great evening. We will see you guys soon. Um, yeah, have a great week, man. And thanks for hanging out.
I know if I post as much of these so you can read what they say online.
Yeah. When the little guy's here with me, he'll just hit them all.
Yeah.
But as a guest, I can't see shit.
But yeah, no, I've been thinking about buying a foot by foot for like $60, which is a huge waste of money. But so I could put the Lord Cigar DM, Lord Comp, and just for shits and giggles. I mean, I know it sounds dumb, and I'll rethink this like 100 times before I say yay or nay.
You know what? I was thinking about it too because Lord Shadow, are you high?
I know.
How is that not like epic?
Technically, the Lord part is official. You could put it on your driver's license.
I know. I remember hearing about it from Jeremy on the Quartering, and I'm like,
Yeah.
We'll see. I'll have to think about it, but
If I ever
um,
do it, it's gonna be like a Christmas present for myself. Cause fuck, I can't justify spending my money on it, but I can't justify spending somebody else's money on it. Uh, that I need to get a new kilt. Actually, what was I watching today? Kind of made me think of you. Oh, what the hell was I watching? Oh, Alf, the old TV show Alf.
I do not look like that guy.
No, but you kind of look like the father.
Okay.
No, I don't mean as an insult. I was also kind of drunk, but I'm like looking at the father. I'm like, he's kind of got the same face structure. Only
I'd have
hit.
to watch it because I'm only vaguely remembering what he looked
Oh,
like.
it's all right. It was just I had company. Came over last night. She stayed until
It was time to go home.
yeah, it was time to go home. Mm. Ugh. But yeah, I never thought. I never wanted to date in my 30s. I realized that in my mid 20s. Like if I'm still single, if I am still single by the time I hit 30, I did something wrong. And well, I'm single in my 30s.
Yeah, well, that's a conversation for another time. I would tell you some things, but maybe it's really not such a bad thing. You know, you can stack your green, you can do whatever the hell you want.
I have such no, and I get that, and I hear that a lot. But I have such like the most bipolar life. Not that I have bipolar, but it's like when I'm with somebody, I normally have money. When I am single, I'm broke. When I'm with somebody, my life is just a tad bit better. When I'm single, I'm not saying my life sucks. It's just
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I'm where I'm at. For a whole bunch of reasons, and I got a lot of that dumbness out of me a long, long, long time ago. I think. Uh, I don't know. I'd have to. I don't know. I don't know how to test that theory, but I'm.
it is what it is.
It could be. I mean, there is something to that. How.
No, don't worry, hell. If it's worth sharing, I'll share it. I don't know. It's just
I'm a firm believer in things happen for a reason, and even though we don't know what the reason is, they still happen and they're meant to happen. And when it's the right time for what?
yeah. I'm.
Why would you even share that with me? I don't know what. I mean,
I
I know what.
I didn't know if this was one of your guys. I hope it's not one of your
No,
guys. Okay.
no, that's weird as hell, dude. That's like, oh my god, that's freaking so. I'm. I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah. No. Hell, I am a single dad. She lives mainly with her mom, but yeah, it's
Some things have to come first.
he's saying he's lying. I'm one of shadows. I have no idea. Michael does life, bro. I don't know.
I'm not sure how to take that. Um, well, we're kind of a family channel.
Well, late
So
night, late night.
yeah.
It kind of goes PG
No, I mean
13.
my channel. I mean my channel.
Oh yeah,
When it's me and the son, the yikes. Um, you don't need to be seeing that and asking me questions afterwards, Dad. There's something you want to tell me? No, no.
oh man. I hopefully I did not embarrass your son too much this past Sunday.
No. He's a good kid. He's a good kid. Speaking of which, I'm going to have to say goodnight in just a few because I do have to get up early because he's got school in the morning, and I got to take him there, so I can't be.
That's fine. We more or
we're
less done between us. We both done 2 hours.
yeah.
No. I hope everybody has a good week. Hopefully, I will not find myself sleeping in a tub yet again. Um, like I said, I like fireworks if I can see them. Like if I'm at a park or somewhere and they're just going off, I'm fine. It's the ones I don't see that come out of nowhere that puts me in a bad headspace. And apparently, me and my drunkenness thought sleeping in the bathtub was the best life decision. There was a few people around here who lit off fireworks that shook the apartment.
We only had one like that the whole night. Everything else was, the
Mild.
high end, you know, skyrockets. There were some of the cheapy little bottle rockets, but 99.99% of everything we saw that night was the high end, up in the sky bottle rockets. Um, that I was explaining to my son, the people who do that are taking a chance. You know what I mean? Because of
Oh yeah.
places like here, they're not allowed, but they're taking that chance to share with everybody around their home what they feel. Up in the sky, they're sharing essentially burning of money to share their emotion with their neighbors, and that emotion is overwhelming patriotism. They're willing to go and light those dollar bills and watch them shoot up into the sky and turn into a bunch of sparkly lights for just a few brief seconds to make you just go ooh and ah, because fireworks just have an incredible magical effect on us.
They
I don't know if it's
really.
worldwide or what, but I mean, because everybody does them now all over the
Yeah.
world for different celebrations, and everybody just sits there and just marvels at it, because they're beautiful, and most people don't think of all the hard work that goes into making them, because it's not easy. You need to know what you're doing, and it's dangerous making them. And for that brief second, you're just looking at something beautiful that can never be recreated.
I can get behind that thought. I just my me being me, the counterpoint to the argument is all those vets who actually went over there and fireworks for one reason or another set them off. Now they're stuck in their home for a day that's supposed to be freedom, and they're being terrorized by fireworks because they're not at one place. The entire neighborhood, if you live in those certain neighborhoods, will be lighting them off, and they're just. I mean, I'm not trying to bring you down. I completely agree with what you're saying, and yeah,
Well,
fireworks
yeah,
are
the random
magical.
explosions. I mean, I mean, yeah, if it was, May 15th and suddenly you're hearing explosions, you're going to duck for cover. But on 4th of July, you should be out there barbecuing a hot dog and looking at the night sky waiting for them. You know,
Right. No, I agree.
the M80s and things like that, those could set anybody off. You
I
know,
used to.
anybody who's anybody who's heard explosions in a bad way, that could easily set you off. You know, I mean,
Yeah, no,
but
I actually as a so I don't know when they went illegal as a kid, but M80s, real M80s, they were outlawed fairly quick. I remember as a kid, but I
they've
had
always
one.
been illegal here my whole life. That
Yeah,
didn't stop us from getting them
I had to
and
drive over
larger.
to like where was I? Indiana. I had to go over to Indiana. No, I had to drive down to Tennessee to get them. Which I not just crossing one state lines, but I had to cross two state lines to get them, and they were expensive because of what they were. They were just expensive, and I
Well, yeah,
got
they're a quarter stick of dynamite.
oh yeah, and we would bury them in a sandbox. We would just walk around with them. I never flushed one down the toilet or did anything of that stupidity. Although I often wondered if it actually worked like how Hollywood made it look like, but I never did it. But those things have some oomph.
Did you know that ground bloom flowers are?
Yeah.
Did you know those work underwater?
No.
If you ever get a chance.
Now that I think about it, it makes sense. Yeah.
Because what happens is they're spinning so fast they create a pocket of air.
Right.
And they burn underwater. So what we would do is we take our trusty wrist rocket and we go out to the beach or the lake and we would light them. And just as the fuse is, ready to go, you launch them into the air, into the lake, into the ocean, and you could see them
just
lighting up the water.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So every year I share that little tip with anybody who wants to listen. Other tip.
Yeah, go for it.
The other tip: when you buy your fireworks, your fountains, and your things that you sit down and they just go, you make colored lights. Put them up on your ladder. Get one of your A-frame ladders, 8 foot tall. If you got a little taller, that's even better. You go up, you put the fountain up on the ladder, and you light it, and then you book off the ladder. Because that way, they're up high, and they make the sparks come, and you see them longer. If you put them on the ground, they go up like 2 feet now, and that's it. And then you're just looking at the ground, and they're like crap. I mean, I've done this for the last 10, 20 years doing this because the fireworks every year get weaker and crappier with less and less ingredients. So you put them up on the ladder, and you get more of a visual effect from them falling down onto the ground. You're not going to burn up your ladder unless it's made out of wood and you get really unlucky. You put them up on the top of the ladder, and like here it's kind of windy, so sometimes they'll fall off the ladder. But for the most part, you put them up there, you light them with the punk or whatever you're using, and then you walk away and you get a 10 times better visual effect from your fountains. And if they're like the really big, coffee can size like fountains, it's even better.
Was it well, I said earlier that me and my brothers would we grew up during the era of Harry Potter books were still being made and produced. And we'd get those Roman candles and
you lucky bastard.
Go down to the local.
I haven't seen Roman candles since before you were born.
Oh, just like the ditch or somewhere where we weren't going to be seen, but nothing was going to catch on fire because
they're fireballs.
We're young, but we're idiots about it. Well, I wasn't.
Oh yeah, we'd shoot them at each other.
Oh yeah,
but for the most part, if you didn't catch hair, you're fine.
The other thing we did, and this was dumb. This is really, really dumb. I recommend no one do it. We would soak a tennis ball in kerosene, and we'd say a tennis ball in kerosene, and we would hit it back with just like go to your local Goodwill and buy tennis rackets, and just do that.
Yeah, I don't recommend that one either.
Yeah,
it sounds fun, but you really gotta actually be good with the racket. Otherwise, you're gonna make a racket.
Oh yeah, no,
all the fire engines.
my aunt made me, my brothers, and my cousin all take tennis lessons for like 5 or 6 years, so we could play tennis with her. We got really good at playing doubles, and I'm left-handed, so like, oh my god, like, whatever. Uh, no one likes left-handed people. It doesn't matter what sport it is. No one likes left-handed people. And we just played tennis with the kerosene tennis ball because we're idiots. It's like, I think I can make that jump. Let's see, the roof's here and the pool's over here. So was that 4 feet, 5 feet? I can make 5 feet. Wait, I need one more beer. So when I said I'm surprised I lived past 25, I'm not being sarcastic. I just did a lot of dumb shit. But
yeah,
I guess
I've taken some dives into pools before myself. It's just making it past the concrete. That's all you got to worry about.
Oh yeah, or the bushes. But I was about to say, there's a reason why your insurance lowers after you turn 25, because the lead in your foot normally goes to your ass.
Yep.
That was always my grandpa's favorite joke. So I gotta make it to California. I was out there once when I was a kid. Went to Universal Studios and Disneyland. And
maybe you can go with Jay this summer.
Yeah, no, that sounds like an anniversary. That sounds like an anniversary, a wedding anniversary, and I tend to leave him and his wife alone as much as I can, unless it's something. Yeah, no one needs to put up my ass, especially driving. I know I got an event on my birthday I'm trying to make it to. It's that medieval reenactment stuff that I do. Mm-hmm. Looking forward to that. Camping, drinking, shooting people with a foam tip arrow. I mean, it's an American dream.
Sounds like fun.
It is. I get to dress up in garb or costume. I get to drink ale out of a curved horn, and it's kind of awesome. Vikings, but without all the leather fetish.
Nothing wrong with leather.
There was too much leather on that show.
I mean, if it's assless chaps, then
That's not enough leather.
Yeah.
So it is 1:18. You said you have to be up here. Well, it's 1:18 for me, so that means no, it's 1:37. It's 1:37 here. That means it's 11:30 here, and you gotta get up early so you can take the kiddo to school.
Yes,
so
I do.
I'm going to go ahead and end it. I hope everybody in chat, the one person that's left, had a good time. We'll see you throughout the week. Make sure you catch us at Table Breakers, which is this Thursday. We got Gatekeepers, that is this
possibly
Wednesday. Something will come out.
That's tomorrow.
Yeah, God, something will come out.
And if we have to skip one or the other, because there is no topic, it just gives us more time to polish whatever we are going to do.
Right.
I don't think we have to.
I know I'm not going to be available. I will not be available for Gatekeepers in theory for the next 2 weeks. So,
okay.
I don't know. But I will see everybody at Table Breakers.
All right.
I will see everybody. What?
You said have a great week, man. Enjoy. Yeah. And we'll see you guys. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Probably a bunch of times because I'll be doing a Gamma World review. And if Gatekeepers is on tomorrow, I'll probably hang out over there. If not on the channel, then on the chat. And maybe even another shadow chat afterwards. We'll see what happens. But until then, guys, have a great evening, a great tomorrow, and see you soon.
Right. If you're new to this channel, please like and subscribe. After you do that, go over to this guy's chat and like and subscribe. So, with that being said, everybody have fun. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Granted, between the two of us, that doesn't leave much. And we'll see you when we see you.
All righty, man. Talk to you tomorrow, man.